What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today once again we've got some more Destiny 2 news to talk about, some really interesting things I want to discuss with you guys as usual, and the beta is only a few days away now, so we're ridiculously close. But the second the beta goes live at 10 AM Pacific or 6 PM UK time, head on over to my channel because I've got some really cool surprises waiting for you guys, which you're going to love. So expect a ton of awesome content on this channel. Really cannot wait for this beta. So the first thing I want to talk about is this cinematic. We've all seen it. It's basically Ghoul humiliating this Titan. He takes his light and kicks him off his ship, and it's essentially one of the first cutscenes after the first mission, so there's not really any spoilers here. But on Instagram there was a new ad campaign showing off something we've never seen before. So this is actually Ghoul taking the light directly from this Titan, which is really crazy. Never something we've seen before, but this is screenshotted by a Reddit user called Ethan Grievous, and I don't know how, but Ghoul is literally ripping the Titan's soul from his body, and I guess that's the light right there, but it explains in a later scene why he's the Titan all weak and defenseless, and is able to be kicked around so much. So pretty interesting to see this cutscene for the opening of Destiny, and you can physically see the light being ripped away from his body, and I really want to see the rest of this cutscene, to be honest. So the next topic is definitely a very big one. Yet again, another hint about the Taken King subclasses that are going to be in Destiny 2. And I've covered this so much in previous videos because there's actually so much proof out there. I even made a full video going over all 5 bits of solid evidence they will be in the game. But today we're talking about another 6th new bit of evidence that only just came out, which is by far the strongest and most concrete, and it basically indirectly confirms them. So a Twitter user called Blake asked Mark Noseworthy, who is the project lead on Destiny 2, he asked, when are you guys going to announce the Nightstalker? As a Hunter main, I'm feeling underwhelmed right now and I'm probably going to be switching to Titan, lol. So myself also being a Hunter, I can honestly agree with him. I definitely won't be switching to the Titan, but I can understand why a lot of Hunters are feeling a little bit underwhelmed right now. Now, Mark actually replied to Blake asking where is the Nightstalker. He said, there are many things we're not going to announce or reveal before the 6th of the 9th. We want the community to have new memories of discovery together. So there you have it. You can't really get any clearer than that. He's indirectly saying things like the Nightstalker won't be announced, and we want you to be surprised in the full game. Like I've been saying this whole time, if they weren't in the game, Mark would have simply not answered the question, or he would have said the Nightstalker isn't the game to temper expectations. The same way Lars flat out said beards aren't in Destiny 2. They confirm these things or deny them, but instead, every interview we've seen, they always ask how many subclasses are there, and Bungie just say we aren't talking about that. So it's pretty obvious they're in there, but Bungie doesn't want to talk about them, and they're going to be some kind of surprise when the full game launches. Now, also something else I thought of is that if you look at how restricted the content is in the beta, it wouldn't really make sense for them to give us all 6 subclasses to play if that was actually it. If all 6 is the ones for getting the full game, they wouldn't do that. So there's definitely more in the full game as well. It's actually pretty crazy to imagine Destiny 2 launching with 9 subclasses. That's a lot of choice. Either way, I just cannot wait for the Nightstalker. I'm definitely going to main it. Whatever it does, I really want to see how they change the super and what it actually does. Now, a lot of the main speculation going around right now is if the future expansions will give us more subclasses, like the Taken King, that would mean 12 subclasses in total, which would be pretty crazy. So I wonder if they do actually plan to expand them beyond the 9. Another possibility I've seen a lot of people say, which is actually a really good idea, is what if they give us new perks inside the subclass tree, like they add new blocks of 4 perks that do different things. Honestly, that would be a really cool idea. Like with expansions, you should get new blocks of perks that do different abilities. That'd be a really cool way to kind of freshen up the subclasses, but it's impossible to know what Bungie are going to do in future, so it's anyone's guess, but let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. So next up, the PS4 Pro bundle was announced for Destiny 2. It's basically a plain white PS4 Pro, nothing that special to be honest, but on the website we can see images for it, and on the box you can see the back here shows some digital content that comes included with the bundle. Now the annoying thing is it is so small and blurry you can't really make out what it says, but there's some kind of weapon being shown. It does look almost identical to the Cold Heart exotic fusion rifle with the 2 big prongs like a railgun, but we don't know what's going on with it. Obviously it isn't a PlayStation exclusive exotic, that's the Borealis sniper which is above it, but down here we can see some kind of bundle to do with what could be the Cold Heart exotic weapon. The only thing is that we can't exactly be sure what this promotion is even about and why it's here, but still something pretty interesting nonetheless. Now in this clip they were talking about the sound design for Destiny 2 with IGN and mixed them all together, essentially the production behind it. This shot showed a visual representation of all the sounds being played on one given level, and as you can see there's a bunch of noises being produced by Rasputin here, which is quite interesting. I guess that means he is going to feature in the game somehow. You can see all the sounds being produced by the Rasputin machines down there in whatever room that is. Now the strange thing is that Rasputin obviously is in Old Russia, that's where his bunker is, and Old Russia isn't in Destiny 2, so I'm wondering where we actually meet Rasputin and where he comes into Destiny 2, or this could even be the Rasputin expansion set to release in spring next year, but either way, something that caught my eye and definitely worth noting. So next up, let's talk about the Arcstrider. We got to see a bunch more gameplay clips of this thing in action, how it works, what it can do, and want to explain some things going on with the subclass that can be pretty confusing. So here we can see its long range attack, the equivalent of Razor's Edge for the Blade Dancer, but instead of going along the floor, it instead travels through the air like a blade. As you can see, it shoots out, and it's cool to see that it has a long range attack. It does similar to the Blade Dancer, so you don't always have to be up close and things damaging them with your melee. You can also shoot things from afar sometimes if you're accurate enough. So let's talk about the dodging and twirling that you always see quite a bit with the Arcstrider, and I see a lot of confusion, people asking, is this how it normally runs, how do you do this, what's going on with the actual movement? So essentially this is what the dodge or shade step looks like in the super. Normally the hunter has a dodge or shade step move, either gambler's dodge or marksman's dodge, but when you're in the Arcstrider super mode, you can dodge infinitely, no cooldown, literally dodge as much as you like, and this is what it looks like right here. And you definitely want to do that, by the way, because there is one perk where dodging makes you take less damage, so you want to be dodging as much as you can, and that makes you hard to hit and also take less damage. And there's also a perk where your staff hits twice after dodging, so it's definitely the best way to move, not only because you're hard to hit, but also because you're doing more damage and taking less damage while you're in the super. So the player is basically spamming the dodge to be able to do what you're seeing here, and the animation is different when the super, when you're seeing this twirly, spinny ballerina thing going on here. Now, also speaking of twirly ballerina things, this clip shows a new ability the Arcstrider can do, which is basically him turning into this tornado, spinning around. And again, this perk isn't listed, so it's probably an intrinsic ability. And we also know that the Arcstrider has a ground slam, where in the air you can basically fly down and hit the staff to the ground to do an area effect damage around you. So a lot of things the Arcstrider can do. I still feel like it's one of the most high skill subclasses, because you can do a lot of details, a lot of perk combinations, and really weird kind of things you can do. So I really want to learn the subclass inside out, see what it's like in the beta, and I just can't wait to get my hands on with this thing. But there you have it, another roundup of all the latest news and things I want to talk about. Also, if you haven't already joined my band group, then the link is in the description. It's my community where a couple thousand of you guys regularly hang out and chat, and there's also a massive LFG there, so if you want to team up with people for the Destiny 2 beta, or if you still want to get some raids or trials done in Destiny 1 for the record book, there's always loads of people over there willing to help out and party up. So as always, the link to my band is in the description. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating would be much appreciated. As I said, got some really cool stuff for you guys the second the beta goes live, so make sure you check back, and I'll see you guys in the next one.